Welcome to the discussion on co-op programs. Today we have a very special guest. We have Taylor Dinkins, who is the Regional Admissions Coordinator from the University of Cincinnati, and she is going to share some great information on co-op programs. I would invite our viewers to go to the University of Cincinnati virtual booth on Scholar Trek Basecamp after this presentation so that you can get more information about the university and connect with their admissions counselors. So with that, we will get started. Taylor, thank you very much for being here today. And would you just give us a general overview of what is a co-op program and how does that differ from an internship?
Absolutely, and thank you for having me. So when you think of cooperative education, it's kind of like an internship, but it's basically just a full-time experiential education opportunity. You get to work, whereas internships are sort of they're part-time, typically maybe over the summer. You can have a paid full-time internship, but they typically take away from your educational experience. So we have a way for you to continuously educate yourself while still getting that full-time work. I hope that made sense. I'll explain a little further.
That actually makes a lot of sense. Thank you. So what are some of the advantages then of participating in a co-op program throughout your college education?
Absolutely. So one big thing is that, like what I said, you don't have to stop your education, especially at UC, which I think we'll touch on a little bit later, but you get to continue your education while getting full-time work experience, which is something that your peers who are doing internships might not necessarily have. That full-time experience working in a field that you might not necessarily love, but while you're working in it, you can figure out if you do. So one, figure out if you love your career, figure out if you're in the right major. To figure out if you actually want to work in this field or if you want to pivot. So it just gives you kind of an inside feel without actually having to take that dive, if that makes sense.
That's great. Yeah, that's a great way to just get a preview of what a career would be like in that particular field.
Exactly.
So how does the co-op program work at your particular college? And when can students actually enter the program or start co-oping?
Sure. So fun fact about UC, we are considered the global birthplace of cooperative education. We invented it back in 1906. So the way that we currently do it and the way that we have been doing it is that you will alternate your schedules for semesters. So one semester you'll be fully enrolled in classes, and that following semester you'll be fully involved in your co-op. You'll be full-time working, and you can start that as soon as your sophomore year or your second year at UC.
Great. So is it co-op limited to particular academic programs, or do you offer it in a wide range of programs? And what kind of jobs are students getting in these different career fields as their co-op job?
So there are certain programs that require you to participate in cooperative education. One of which, well, I guess a couple of which are going to be engineering and DAP, which is design, architecture, art, and planning, and then as well as our information technology school. Those are the three colleges. They absolutely require it. It is not a requirement for everyone, but it is optional. Some of the jobs that you can get, it just genuinely depends on what you're looking for, what field you're in as well. Some of those optional programs that I was talking about, nursing, business, and communications, they always offer that option for you. Business majors typically do take advantage of it because if you're going to look for some type of professional development, it's going to be a business major. And then what type of job opportunities are available to students? Like I said, it just genuinely depends. It ranges. We don't partner, but we've worked with over 1,300 different companies globally. So just kind of depends on where you land.
Sounds like you have lots of opportunities.
Absolutely.
So if students are alternating their classroom time and their co-op time, does it take longer for a co-op student to complete a degree? And if it takes longer, does that mean it's going to cost more to get that degree?
So great question. If you are in a required program, it's going to take you on average of 5 years to graduate. It's one, no additional cost, because during your time in your co-op, you're not paying tuition. You will have to pay, at least at UC, you will have to pay like a small fee to just make sure that you're still enrolled and you continue to get like aid and whatnot for the rest of your academic year, but that's it. So you're saving money because you're not paying tuition, and you're making money because you're working full-time in that field. It's not a grant, it's not a scholarship, you're getting a paycheck from that company. And you are on track, I will like to say that as well, for these required programs. The point of going to university is to get a job afterwards. So if you're working full time, just kind of think that you're moving that year essentially to just the middle, or that time to the middle of your education. So you're still on track, but 5 years on average, maybe
That's
a little
great.
bit less if you're in an optional program.
Yeah. So on an average, like about how much experience then are students getting if they're alternating that job and their school? Like, you're graduating with essentially a 4-year degree, but about how much time is spent in the co-op then? So you would have like a year's worth of experience or?
About a year and a half's worth.
Okay, all right, that's a great option, and to do all that in 5 years is pretty amazing.
It genuinely is. And it's something that you can put on your resume once you graduate, which is, I guarantee you, it's like gold when you're graduating from college, being able to say you have a year and a half's worth of full-time work experience in the field that you're actively pursuing. So
That's great, thank you. So you mentioned something about pay. Do students always get paid for their co-op job? And when they're starting, how do they get into these jobs? How do they find out about what jobs are available for them?
So yes, you will be a full-time employee of X, Y, and Z company. So you will be getting a full-time salary. Students make on average of about $10,000 per co-op experience. That is about $75 million annually collective from our 1,300 different companies that our students work with. And that's just with our UC students. So the money is there and it's going to be provided to those students. And then how do you get started in co-oping? Well, we do have advisors who are there to help guide you down that path. But when you get into the actual process of looking for that company you want to work with, it's the same as any other job that you're looking for. You have to research the opportunities, apply, and interview. We will help you because we do have services and career coaches in our Bearcat Promise Career Studio, who is actively working to help you with like resume building or like a mock interview if you need it.
That's great to have somebody kind of guide you and help you with that process. It must be really, really beneficial. So then the next question is, what companies are recruiting co-op students on your campus? And of those students who are doing co-op as a full program, is there a percentage of students that are offered full-time jobs before they even graduate, so that when they graduate, they know where they're going?
So good question. So some of the companies that we work with, and this is maybe we work with over 600 businesses, industries, research organizations, governmental agencies, the list goes on and on. But some of those will be like Apple, the Dow, NASA, Toyota, Tesla, Walt Disney, General Electric, SpaceX, Procter & Gamble, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. We work with huge names, but we also work with some smaller ones. And that's globally, once again. So tons in the US, but also we're going beyond our borders. Percentage wise, I don't have one for every single academic college because again, it's broken down that way. But for our engineering majors, 75% of those students who are in their co-op programs get offered a full-time position after they complete it. So pretty good amount.
That's a great percentage. Yeah, that's really nice to have that security of a job when you're getting ready to graduate. So, because you're alternating and doing studies and co-ops and whatever, can you participate in study abroad?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. So we go to over 60 countries, for our study abroad programs, but we also have international co-oping programs, which are fantastic. Our students can live and work for up to 8 months in a country where their primary language is either German, French, Spanish, or Japanese. So you still get the co-oping experience and the study abroad all in one. It's a pretty great opportunity.
Wow, that really sounds incredible. I think that would be so fun to be in another country and to be working in your field would be pretty amazing. Right. So what kind of resources and opportunities for academic success and experiential learning are available on your campus? And this is just not necessarily related to co-op, but just, what does the University of Cincinnati offer to students so that they will be successful?
Sure. So each academic college does have some form of resource center for our students for academics. So if you are someone who struggles a little bit, we are basically there to help you. We're not going to let you fail. That is our Bearcat promise to you, I promise. We do have a library learning center that's very helpful for our students who are struggling with academics as well. I mentioned earlier about the career coaching that we offer on campus. That's an option. And that Bearcat Promise Career Studio, like I said, is a place where all you students can participate in career exploration, planning, and development. So it just really depends on what you're looking for. We also have tons of other resources and centers for different representative organizations and backgrounds and identities. So we have tons to offer.
Lots of opportunities.
Yes.
All right. So we talked a little, excuse me, we talked a little bit about career services and finding that job afterward. But aside from the co-op or just in general, what type of career services does University of Cincinnati offer? And maybe you could talk about some of those other recruiting activities. So if a student maybe didn't find the job that they absolutely loved through their co-op, what other opportunities would they have for getting career placement at the University of Cincinnati?
Cool, yes. So we do offer obviously cooperative education in a full-time, part-time, and a project-based capacity, but we do also have internship opportunities for students. We prefer that you go down that co-op route. 100% of our students are required to participate in some form of experiential education. So one way or another, you're going to have that career focused opportunity. So each academic college will do it a little bit differently, depending again on the program that you're studying or the interest of career, but it just genuinely depends. But it's there.
And do you offer like career fairs, job fairs, that kind of thing?
Yes, absolutely. I believe they happen about once or twice a semester. I know that some of our colleges will even do their own depending on what their students are interested in. So yes.
Great, thank you. So when students are researching colleges, everybody knows about the virtual admissions tour or the virtual admissions program. But if students specifically want to learn about a co-op program, if they're visiting your campus or online, is there any place they can go that will give them information about the co-op program specifically?
So we do have a website specifically for our cooperative education for students to explore, and I'd be happy to share that link with you afterwards to give to your students. But we also offer research opportunities for students to actively look into their field to see if they have a feeling or have a basically I can't think of the right word right now.
Just a sense of that's what they're
Yes,
interested
thank you.
in. Yes. Yeah. All right, yeah, and we will share that link. We'll post it at the beginning of this program so that when students log in, they'll be able to see the link that you're referencing.
Awesome.
Okay, all right. So beyond GPA and test scores, what are you looking for in your prospective students? And what kind of student thrives in a co-op program?
I think one thing about UC that I really love about us is that we are truly a unique and diverse campus. There is no one type of student, and that's how we kind of look at our applications as well. We are a holistic review institution, so GPA is only one factor. Something for me personally, I love when students are actively involved in some type of organization on their campus, whether that be dance or culinary or robotics or whatever sparks your interest. I love seeing community service on an application. I like seeing students who are actively involved with their families or maybe have some type of just extra to give out to others. I just want to see that you're more than your grades, essentially. So show me who you are as a person as well, not just the academic side. And then what type of student thrives in my co-op program? Because they're all so different, it genuinely just depends on you. I like that with our co-ops, you get to pick where you essentially apply to and where you work. So you can kind of fine tune it to your own personal needs and wants.
All right, thank you. So how can students prepare themselves for success at your university? Are there any courses that they need to take for particular fields? Are there any activities that you look for? What should they be doing now?
I would say if you have the opportunity to ever shadow someone in the field that you're interested in, that is a fantastic opportunity. So if you want to be a nurse, see if you can maybe shadow a nurse for a day or two and just get a feel for that field. We also offer some summer programs through different academic colleges. I know DAC, which Design, Architecture, Art, and Planning, they offer a summer camp. Our engineering college offers a summer camp, and I believe our College Conservatory of Music also offers something in the summer for students to participate in. So if you're interested in UC and you want to get a feel for the programs that we offer, that's a great opportunity for you as well.
Yeah, those summer programs are a great way for a student to experience campus life and be on campus and just see what the academics are like. So that's great advice. So we'll kind of wrap this up here, but is there one piece of advice that you'd like to share about the admissions and college search process, or one more piece of information maybe about the co-op program that you'd like to share with our viewers?
One piece of advice I would give for the admissions or college search process is maybe two. Visit the university that you're planning on applying to during the school year, if you can. It genuinely just gives you a feel for that place. You're going to be living there most likely for a few years. So you want to make sure you're comfortable in that space. And do not be afraid to reach out to your admissions counselors, the college representatives, whoever you're working with. It is our job to assist you and guide you down this path. So please do not hesitate to reach out with any questions.
Yeah, I think that's something students are hesitant to do sometimes, is to reach out to admissions, and the admissions counselors at the colleges are just such great resources and have so much information and good advice to give to students. So that was great. Thank you. You know what, this was really helpful. I feel like students and their families will have a better understanding of co-op after watching this presentation. I would like to invite our viewers to visit the University of Cincinnati virtual booth on Scholar Trek. Please also look at some of the other panels and workshops that are available to students. Thank you so much for presenting today, Taylor, and for this great information. I feel like we've kicked up the whole co-op understanding several notches. So we appreciate that and appreciate your being here. Thank you so much, and have a great day.
Thank you. And thank you so much for having me. This was fun.